potential is an entrepreneurial mindset. I like to say it's mission granted. No one is successful overnight.
Keep on keeping on.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is day 7 of 31 days to PADITU. That is, put a dent in the universe. Well, we've had phenomenal guests, and yesterday was no exception. Mortaza Zaidi, Marvin Stewart were excellent at informing us on new concepts and new ideas on how to get unstuck in these challenging times. We have some exciting a world premiere tomorrow that I am particularly enthusiastic about. It's a song I've co-written with Barius Kasu in Uganda. It's going to be a world premiere video of our song Keep On Keepin' On, and Barius, all things go well, will be joining us. And then we also have, and I alluded to this yesterday, and we all have to have mentors in our lives, and one of my great mentors is my mother, and she will be joining us as a special guest with insights from Sean's mom. That's my mom, and for those who might be interested in learning a little bit more detail about me, there's an opportunity to ask my mother questions that might give more insights into my background. For sure, she's going to be helping coach me during these sessions and sharing her wisdom, which is a lot of the wisdom I'm sharing with you through the show right now. Okay, before we get started and meet our first guest, one of the questions and one of the common threads we have here is kind of overcoming those things that hold us back, those kind of behaviors, mindsets that are slowing us down, and particularly as entrepreneurs, particularly as we move through and we transition from the COVID-19 reality we're in now into our new future post-COVID-19. Or particularly for those that are able to help and sit and understand those things that are holding them back, will have a greater opportunity to come out of this on the other side with tremendous possibilities and a new future. So what I want to do, Amy, if you can move us over to our vision board, I want to share with you an exercise. This is Andy Launch. So I want us all to launch and go to where our dreams take us. Anything is possible if you're willing to work hard enough and believe strong enough. Okay, so how do I overcome what's holding me back? This is the question. And what I want you to do is follow this exercise. Again, it's a visual thinking exercise. I use a mind map. For those that want to follow along with me, write on your sketchbook, what holds me back? As you can see, the printing doesn't have to be great. I'm writing very fast and not looking while I'm drawing. It's a memory map, mind map. So put a bubble around it. What holds me back? Now, what you want to do is use your instincts, your intuitions, to list those things that are holding you back. In my case, a newly discovered thing that's been holding me back, and the 31 days of PADITU is stretching that, pushing it, and eliminating it over time, is my fear of being wildly successful. So put down those type of things, fear of success. Unknown, what does that mean? Where will it take me? How will my life change? Fear of success can be one of those things. List them, put them down here. Fear of failure. What holds you back? Not looking good. Keep listing. All those things you can come up with. Be as honest with yourself as you possibly can be. This is for your own eyes, your eyes only, but you have to be as honest and truthful as you possibly can as you go through this process to visualize those things that are holding you back. This is step 1. This could take anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes to go through. My request to you as you go through this exercise is to just write those down as fast as possible. Don't overthink them. Stream of consciousness, being truthful and honest with yourself. What holds you back? holds me back in terms of what you write on your mind map or memory map. Second phase, second step. You can come back to this later if that was an exhausting process and took a lot of energy out of you to write down those things that are holding you back. It may take time. I've probably done this exercise a couple dozen times in my life. I'm doing it now with you right now. And so then the second step in the process, how do I overcome? This is how overcome what's holding me back. How do I overcome? This is the harder part. This is a much harder part because now you have to think about the behaviors you have to change. And entrepreneurs, it's critical to be changing your behaviors as you go through the process because you're going to have to manage more people. You're going to have to engage with people. You're going to have to enroll people. You're going to have to really change to be able to grow your business or your endeavors. And so how do you overcome what's holding you back? In this case, you're going to list action items you can take to overcome what's holding you back. Create new behaviors. Think about how can I change a behavior. Pick one of those things that's holding you back and think about what can I do different with that. List as many ways you can overcome those things that are holding you back. List them all out in a mind map format or a list if that's what you prefer. Doesn't matter. I'm not saying it has to be visualized, but keep listing those things. How can I overcome? Maybe it's doing something, taking action, like we were talking around Steve Cluck. How do you stay inspired? You stay inspired by staying active, stretching yourself. New experiences. Travel is another great way. I know we're limited by our travel today, but in the future, travel may be a good thing for you to kind of change your perspective. Whatever it is, how are you going to overcome what is holding you back? List those out. Now, step 3, you'll see it's a 3-step process. Instead of a mind map this time, I would like you to take the top number 1 challenge that's holding you back, holding you back. Only one, the one that you want to work on the most. And then list 3 steps you're going to take to overcome what's holding you back. In this case, I'll take mine, being wildly successful. Number 1, start a show. Check. Actually, that wasn't number 1. Number 1 was build a team. Start a show, build a team is part of that. Number 2, promote self. And all the elements that I've done in my life that are of value, and this is another way to do that. And then 3, imagine and embrace success. So this is using my mind to pre-program success. Spelling errors happen. Reprogram my brain so that I understand this is part of what it means to change the world, put a dent in the universe. This is a way to do that. And that the more successful I am, the more people that will be successful because of what I'm able to share with people. That is my steps, my visual thinking steps to overcome what's holding me back. Step 1, mind map those things that are holding you back. List them. Let them come out of you naturally. Don't overthink it. Find a quiet place. Step 2, you don't have to do this right away. If you're exhausted in the process of what's holding you back takes a lot of energy from you, if you can, immediately go into how do I overcome what's holding me back? These are behavior changes. These are the way you think. Generally speaking, that's where it falls. In terms of how do you overcome what's holding you back. Some kind of behavior shift is a critical component. And then finally, pick one challenge that's holding you back and then list 3 things you're going to do different to overcome what is holding you back. Post that. Tape it to your wall. Look at it every morning as you're getting dressed and ready to go and looking in the mirror. Posting it on a mirror is an excellent way of keeping these intentions and actions and transformations you're going to make front and center and constantly on your mind as you go forward. Okay. I hope that this was helpful. And for those that do proceed, I'd love to hear from you. and how this works for you, how these exercises are working for you. It's universal wisdom. It's a different application to that universal wisdom. And so, particularly as it relates to entrepreneurship, building businesses, growing endeavors, and in particular, putting a dent in the universe, PADITU. Okay, Amy, who's our first guest? Al, how are you doing today?
Yes, Sean. Very well. How are you? Nice to see you again.
You too. Sorry, it's not in person.
Can you hear?
You're in Kampala, yes?
Are you able to hear now?
We have a lab.
Yes, I am in Kampala. Yeah, I'm in the outskirts, but yeah, close to the central Kampala right now.
What challenge do you want to share? What questions might you have for me that could be helpful to the business builders that you're working with there in Kampala?
Yes, there are three questions I have. Maybe I'll. Would you prefer that I go through all three questions?
One at a time, Al. One at a
time. All right. All right. Well, the first one is the challenge of remote work right now. Increasingly, startups have to do things remotely, and they can't get together, whether it's in a garage or a small office anymore. Being active is a challenge. What are some of the tricks you have up your sleeve to cope with working remotely, especially for startups that are still trying to find their way around roles and hiring and onboarding, that type of thing?
Great question, Al. Can you mute, or you're watching the show while we're talking?
Yes, sure.
So I've been working and running remote companies now for, I think, something over 20 years. So literally team spread everywhere. And what I've found is, there's that. Number one, you have to hire for character. So when I'm interviewing people and I don't meet them in person, and if I'm not able to meet them in person, I'm focusing on questions that relate to character, their character traits. I can't train character. I can train skills. So that's number one. So as people are thinking about hiring, and it's a remote hiring process, focus on character, you'll go far. Particularly in a startup, you're looking for mission-driven people. You're looking for people that think beyond themselves. You're looking for people who are passionate about the activity of the endeavor, the mission, goals, and objectives of the endeavor. Those kind of people will stay strong and stay with what you're doing going forward. So hiring remotely, character first, not skills. Skills you can always train. Two, communication is key remotely. So engaging even more than you normally would, over communicating, being transparent as things go forward. People have a tendency to imagine worst case scenarios as it relates to any situation. So their brain automatically goes to the worst case scenario, even if it's completely not true, fabricated in an imagination and has no reality of what's truly taking place. So to calm down those people who get uncomfortable being remote or imagine things in the worst case, you've got to communicate so that they're calmer, so they feel like they're part of the loop. And you want to be transparent. More and more people are looking for honesty, truth, and empathy from their leaders. And I would say there's a crisis in leadership, and it's been going on for a while, but I think it's going to really start ratcheting up because people are going to want different things now than they wanted before. And then the third thing I would say remotely is just to not be afraid of it, because and to when work needs to be done, unless it's got a tremendous deadline that everyone agrees upon, then to let those people who remote work on their own schedule. Let them, as long as they get the work done, I'm cool. Really doesn't matter for me when it's done necessarily, but as long as it gets done. So that's a loosening thing. If you're in person, it might be more regimented. When you're remote and everyone's working in different locations, they have their own issues. And so for me, I let them do it on their own, unless it's a deadline that's like, here's the deadline and we're all working towards it. I'll give 4, then now another one. In those cases, we're constantly in contact, right? So it's constant email, Messenger, WhatsApp, whatever the format is, Zoom, the different technology applications that are out there to communicate. But when it's a deadline, we're in it. And those people that are part of the core team are constantly going back and forth, not overly going back and forth. But there's a number of tools. There's Slack also, which is another really good collaboration tool that keeps everything in together in one nice area for your team to communicate. But I think that I'll give 5. I'm a lot less that I'll pause. The 5th one that I've learned, and what I love about being global and remote, is that I can have people working while I'm sleeping. So I have, there's teams that are around the world, whether it's Middle East, Asia, US, South America. So it's a constant churning, right, of people. So there's always work being done, which means you can double the work you can get done by being remote. And I said I'd live 5, but I'm going to go 6 now, and that is, I'll bet you, because of the time it takes to travel, particularly in other countries, between locations, that more people are now are interested in the remote engagement, because it means that they're saving time. They're actually getting more work done instead of spending 2 hours traveling, or as Morteza was talking about yesterday, he even flies from one city to another city for a 30-minute, 40-minute meeting to fly back. All of that's going to go away. So I think productivity levels are going to increase, and people are going to find that remote working actually is a blessing and is a gift. I'm going to pause there. I think we're only going to get one question right now in this. But please do respond.
Yes, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for that. I didn't see that productivity, this was an opportunity for productivity to shoot up, but it actually is. I mean, without the transportation involved, without return trips to meetings and whatnot, people should be able to achieve more under the circumstances.
I think so. I think that, again.
Yes. My final question is about. Yes, I was going for my final question.
Okay.
Yes, it's about coping with the stress associated with post-COVID work. I mean, there's going to be there's a lot of isolation. Isolation can breed depression when there's no human interaction. There's change. There's a lot of change. No human interaction, no people to, relate with in regards to work. This might breed some blues and stress. How are you coping with that?
That's a really good question. I don't think we're in post-COVID. First, let me say we are in COVID-19. What I'm saying is it's like 2 months of 24 months. And I say 24 months till we're through it completely. So I think it's a realistic time frame to kind of put in your mind with 2 months, and you're less than 2 months because it hit Africa later. So we're in COVID. That's one. It's not post. We're planning. We're thinking about post-COVID. Okay. What I would say is this: that having been somebody who has had severe depression, attempted to kill myself when I was in my 20s, from entrepreneur, overworking, and then entrepreneur depression and mild depression over time. The first thing I would say to anybody who is feeling depressed or feeling any way that they're wanting to take their own lives, or they're thinking life is not worth it, I have a new philosophy I learned during those major depression time periods. I call it wait 5 minutes. Wait 5 minutes. Everything in the world can change in 5 minutes. I've had no money, and then all of a sudden I've had $1.4 million of an investment in 5 minutes, right? I've had this investing money, mass investors money. I've had myself in situations where the world was going to fall apart. It was going to be terrible. And in the next minute, 5 minutes, everything was wonderful and back to a blissful situation. So it's never so bad that you want it, that it has to end. Wait 5 minutes. That is really number one. Number two, I think, again, life is not supposed to be easy, and that these difficult times will make us stronger. And that I would be looking for creative outlets to explore. So that the opportunity right now is to, like, music. Writing music is now something I'm doing, almost daily now. I write a song, and we'll be world premiering tomorrow. Keep on keeping on. And so, as an example of that, and that's directly tied to having a little more time to myself, where I can think. And instead of it being an anxiety thing, take the opportunity to reflect upon, and we talked about this in some of the exercises. What am I most passionate about? How can I change my life? What can I do different? And how can I, be the best I can be? And those are the things I would be focusing on right now, because it's a great opportunity to reflect and to really find that within inside of you, which would allow you to reach your full potential. I truly believe this, Al. We are living in the most incredible and miraculous time in human history. We're alive, Al, during this time. It's a gift. And so now, how are we going to take advantage and leverage this gift, in my case, and I believe your case, for the betterment of our world? And so I would be putting my energy into, what can I do to make this world a better place? How can I put a PADITU, put a dent in the universe, and then start visualizing how you're going to do that. And I'll go back to this visual I've got here so that you can launch, your next thing. And that's what I would be doing right now. And yeah, life is not supposed to be easy. So it's natural to be blue, to be down. Don't let it get you so far down that it goes too far where you reach a place where it becomes major depression. This is not going to be easy. This is going to last. And I think 2 years should be a time frame people look in their minds. And then, what can I do now to prepare for the other side, so I'm relevant, so I have value for where we're going? And that's what I'm recommending to anybody I'm coaching right now, currently. And launch yourself, reinvent yourself, be Madonna, be Lady Gaga, be Davio or Davido. Reinvent yourself constantly. Al, I hope you'll come back again, and I can't wait to be in Uganda and be face to face.
Yes, thanks for all that. Just reminded me of the times you were over here, and we'll share more when we're off.
Yeah, please come back, Al. I'm
Offline.
sure we'll have you back. Please. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Al.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's natural, right? I want to be clear. It's natural to be depressed, and particularly here in the US, and I'm sure it's everywhere. I think we've reached 26, 30 million unemployed people in the US here. That's going to create fear, uncertainty, uncomfortableness, and could lead to depression. And so how you respond to that is critical. Having a mindset of opportunity, possibility, and creativity is going to help you as we continue to go through this and things get more difficult as we go. Thanks for those questions, Al. I really do appreciate it. That's very important right now. Amy, do we have another guest? Hello.
Hi,
How do you spell your name? How do you say your name?
Kitty and Zazie.
Kissy and Tazi. So good to see you. How are you doing today?
I'm well.
Good. And you're where are you?
I'm in Kenya, but locked down in at the coast.
You're
But
on the coast. What
my
a
business
beautiful.
my business is in Nairobi.
Uh-huh.
But when they did the lockdown, I was found to be in Kilifi, which is at the coast.
Well, there's worse places to be in the world. You're in one of the most beautiful, period.
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
You have a question for me, some kind of challenge you want to overcome.
As you talked about reinvesting yourself,
I did.
so uh, I want to bring it to the context of an entrepreneur, like being a founder of a business.
hmm
I always think about this, and I think it will be good to share it out because when you start your business and as an entrepreneur, you start with doing almost everything,
hmm
and as you grow, you get people on board to do specific things that you used to do. So it gets to a point where, as the founder, I call it like a founder's syndrome, where you need to reinvent yourself or do some form of personal development for you to feel more relevant. Because if you are the one doing accounting, somebody else is doing the accounting now. So in my case, I'm at a point where I'm thinking of different things to do to reinvent myself that will still be in line with the kind of business that I'm doing or in line with what I've studied or my career.
Okay, hold
So
on. Time out.
okay.
Share with me your product and service. Who's your customer? How do you make money? 30 seconds. Go.
So I do manufacturing for natural food seasoning products. My target customer is generally the household, targeting women, bachelors, and high school students. I sell to supermarkets mostly on credit basis. Then they pay me once they sell the goods. Mostly we have an agreed credit period of 45 to 60 days.
hmm
So it's manufacturing of natural food seasoning out of vegetables and spices.
Natural fruits. Natural foods.
Yes, natural food seasoning.
Food seasoning.
Food
Got it.
seasoning, yeah, yeah. You just sprinkle it to your food, and your food goes to another level in terms of the taste,
How much are
the
you,
aroma.
how much are you selling? How
Two
many pounds or
two
kilos?
dollars, $2, two
No. How
dollars.
many kilos of the seasoning are you selling like a month? Work pre-COVID.
Like 5,000 units. In
5,000
terms, yeah, 5,000 units
a month.
per month. Yes,
Right. How many supermarkets are you in?
I'm in 120 supermarkets in Kenya.
That's great. Congratulations. Were you participating in one of our were you in We Create at one point?
Yes,
Okay.
2016 we create.
2016. Fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
I'm really glad. So this is phenomenal. What's the challenge? What's the challenge? Or you want to reinvent yourself now?
Yeah, I want to reinvent myself
Uh-huh. How
to
are
be.
you integrated into the marketing and promotion of this product and brand? Like, are you anywhere picture of you or your name or anything associated? What's the name of the product?
Chibundiro.
That's not your is that your name? That's your name, huh? Last name?
No, no, that's the name of the brand.
Uh-huh. But
The
but
name.
but so there's no association with the brand to you.
I'm the founder. I'm
No, I
I'm the
understand that,
innovator.
but I'm saying the brand, like your picture's not on it. They don't, they don't see your picture and then go, okay, that's the product, right?
No, they don't see my picture.
Uh-huh. So here's an idea. I'm thinking
Hmm.
the two ideas I'm going to share here. One, perhaps you want to reinvent yourself as the brand. And so that you're now promoting the brand and yourself in the process. So there's a linkage to that, kind of like Richard Branson does, where you could expand product lines through you and your brand. This is one idea, so that you would become more integrated into promoting the product, like the spokesperson for the product as the founder. That's one way to reinvent yourself and still and work to grow the product sales, right? Maybe you're doing online. I'm moving online now. The second part of this is to do online cooking courses, where you're sharing how to use the seasoning and how it improves food, and get testimonials and have other people create their own videos that are showing how they're using the seasoning and the videos to then promote the product. So they become involuntary evangelists in the process. But it's you who's the one who's got the, similar to what we're doing here with me, it's you that's got the relationship. You're the one who has the special knowledge that they're getting access to. And then I'll give you a third one that I'm thinking about. And people love this, and you can charge more: custom seasoning. People may want to say, and then the seasoning gets, the ones that come out on top or get their name on it. It's still your seasoning, but they get something from it. And so people could be sharing their seasoning recipes, and maybe there's a seasoning that you get a hold of that you're like, this is a great seasoning, and I can market this seasoning. But the marketing and the spokesperson would be you. That's the reinvention. Second, and then you would start up some kind of online cooking show that would show how to use the seasoning or different ways to leverage the seasoning and make your food taste better. And then having people post their own videos of how they're using the seasoning, and potentially, fourth, having people present to you new seasonings that you might be able to market and promote. I'll pause there. What are your thoughts? Have you thought about this?
Yeah, so I've thought about this. So currently we do online cooking competitions. We call them cook-off competitions, where somebody has to cook with the product and tell us his or her experience of the cooking.
How many people? How's that going? How many people are participating in those cooking challenges?
Okay, it's normally on the Let's Cook Kenyan Meals Facebook platform.
Mm-hmm.
The platform has got around 1.9 million followers. Mm-hmm. But we can get maybe 30 people to 50 people participating on the challenge. Then after the challenge, like a 1-month challenge, we give prizes to those who have posted their experience with the seasoning.
How long have you been doing this? How long have you been running this challenge?
We do it twice a year at the beginning of.
How long have you been doing it?
It's like it's a 30-day challenge that we started doing like 2 years ago.
So for 2 years.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking of, though, is something that's more regular, more daily. It's more about you. You're doing it instead of the challenge. That's great. Keep that going. Perfect. Expand it. Do more of that, and then do something that's more regular, so it keeps your seasoning in people's minds. Right. That's the key. And so you got to continually be working on getting yourself out there. And so I'm talking about something that is like a regular cooking show. And maybe in the beginning it's daily for a while to get traction and get people excited about this. And then you can move to another, less time potentially. But the challenge is great, and I think that's where you leverage how people are using. So you've already got that going. This is more about reinventing you, which was the start of the conversation, so that you're the one who's front and center. You're the one who is the brand. You're the one who's sharing how to do it on a regular basis, and having guests who are specialists at seasoning come in, whatever they're seasoning. And so does this make sense? Are you understanding?
Yeah, I understand you.
Yeah, you think this would work?
Yes, it will.
And that would energize you as well, I think. And then I would set up an online bulk component where people can order online, and maybe instead of individual jars, it's a bulk. They get 6, give them away to friends or something. I'm trying to find ways for you to sell online. And so, but number one, the reinvention is you as the brand. and then you doing shows, and then linking that back, and the host, and I'm sure you're the host of the challenge, but thinking about how do you inject yourself into this, and then my guess is that would grow because you're the one who's selling, you're the one who got all those 120. I know how hard you must have worked to get to that, and I want to say congratulations. And those are ShopRite, some of those stores, yeah?
Yes, yes.
Are you doing live in the stores? Do you do kind of cooking and give samples out do you make food with the spice and then give samples out with a toothpick or something? I don't know if we can do that today, but I'm asking.
Yeah, sometimes we do in-store sampling of the product, like we give them food with the seasoning and food without the seasoning, then they try and see which is tasty.
Do you see sales spikes when you do that? Do people buy more when you do that?
Yes.
Do more of that. Do more of that. Okay.
But they need a marketing budget, so that because you normally have to get like ladies who can do the sampling. You need to pay them. You need to have a budget for the food.
Bootstrap for life. Bootstrap for life. Have them get paid based upon what sells that day.
Okay.
What they sell, they will earn a percentage of that day.
Okay.
That way, there's nothing out of your pocket, and they're incentivized to sell as well, which will increase sales. That's what you do. That's how you make that happen, because Amy, I see Amy, yes?
I am so excited. I could not wait. This is a topic that's dear to my heart. When my parents are in the grocery business here in the United States. And when I was just 12, 13, the age that I could do demonstrations in the stores, I got a food handler's license, and I went and I did that. And I can tell you that it builds, find someone that you think has tremendous potential, because it builds confidence. You're actually not going to overpay, maybe someone older. And it's very difficult to tell a young person no. So there's that. There's people won't.
Wait, Amy. So you're telling stories in here, but I want to make sure I'm getting what
the in-store demo. The in-store demo. There's a strategy there by putting a younger person there than maybe an older person, because it's difficult to say no to a younger person. Someone young. I was 12, 13 doing that very thing in grocery stores, and I did it every weekend for a very long time, every weekend. And you'd be surprised what people will tell you. I don't like cookies, or I don't like cookies. Who doesn't like cookies? But I get it, right? You would call them crisps or whatever. So the important thing to remember is that consistency when they see you in the store, that's very important. And first, you should also go in and train personally the messaging, so that you do it a couple of times and that person can mirror that. But by the end of the day, they will own that message, and they'll be their own. And the next time, you won't have to go for the setup or the takedown or the anything. They will be able to do it. It's a brilliant, brilliant idea. Keep that up. I just wanted to encourage you in that.
Thank you, Amy. That's really helpful. I mean, I think that obviously that may have changed, and I don't know what the reality of the food sample is and how willing people will be to take those samples now today. So that whole strategy may be not viable in the short term, right? But I do think what Amy's talking about, and it fits into the overall strategy of We Create Kenya and empowering women, is find young women to do that and then empower those. And so now you've got another story behind it. The story behind that is the PADITU, where you're empowering young women to be their own bosses, to be their own business builders as a result of you giving them the chance to be doing these samples, and that what your training is really on how to be a salesperson, how to be a marketer, how to build relationships with people so that they then end up making a purchase. That's a powerful marketing backstory to this that adds even more value and increases the reinvention of your brand, because now you're a mentor, you're a coach, and you're positioning girls and women to be the best they can be. I'll hit pause now.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think it is what has worked for us, because the nature of our products being my own innovation, somebody has to actually taste it, smell it, so that they can be able to interact with the product. So the in-store sampling is what works for us. What Amy is saying is also good, because we use university ladies who are confident. It's just that it's a good idea if I was able to use young people, but now here it will be termed as child labor.
Well,
But
I was wondering if we were following child labor laws there. And so as young as legally as possible, how about that? And driven. Again, at the last conversation I had with Al, you got to hire on character. So especially if you're going to do it in a way that they're going to get paid based upon performance, you need to verify that they're going to show up, they're dependable, they're, you know, and that they're driven and they see the opportunity. And that it's not just about selling, it's about learning and the opportunity to expand their own experience. That's the kind of character you're looking for in your hires for this particular role. But let's say you can't do that anymore. And I'm sure ShopRite is going to be harder on this, because they'll have a responsibility to some degree in what happens within that store. So I'm going to go back to the way you're going to get people on a larger scale, not just in Kenya, throughout Africa, is to go online and do some kind of cooking interview show. I could see it being something that's a hybrid type of experience for people, but don't lose track of that, because that's your brand reinvention there. And then that will translate to the physical world post COVID-19, where you can actually start doing more things in person in the long run. But it'll allow you to sell online. You may end up getting international customers as well. And so it just expands your opportunity to and reinvent you to go online. It's so good to have you here. Good luck. Let's follow up. I want to see your new show online and see and smell it through the computer screen.
Okay.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you so
You're
much.
an inspiration. Keep going.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Wow. Well, that's a reinvention. I think that's somebody who really is trying and working to understand what they can do to stay relevant, and on top of the fact that if they're not reinventing themselves, they're going stale. This goes back to keeping your inspiration going, keeping your creativity intact. Just, you want to keep working to reinvent yourself as you go. And when you feel that instinct and intuition, follow it. Amy, thanks for your advice on that as well. And great job. Do we have another guest? Right.
Oh, hi. Let me switch on the lights. Maybe you're not seeing me well.
I'm seeing you. Okay, go ahead. Tell me.
Okay, let me just try.
I'm so happy you got a blank wall. It's like a blank canvas there.
Yeah.
How
so
are
can you see me clearly, or the lighting is too much?
No, you're good. How are you doing today?
I'm well.
Good. And where are you?
So yeah. So
where are you?
So the thing is, I started. You see, like I started something new during now this pandemic. So can you hear me?
Congratulations.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you, Sean.
I'm not sure what's going on.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you had disappeared.
I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
Great.
You've got to turn off you're watching while you're on. So you can't watch the show while you're in. Don't close down StreamYard, but you wanna turn off the show while you're watching.
How? I'm watching on tablet. Not on tablet, on the PC.
One of your windows is the show where you're watching from the StreamYard link. You want to close that.
One of the?
StreamYard, not StreamYard, the one that you're watching the show on.
Yes.
Okay, what's your question?
All right. So this is my question. So during this pandemic, I started a new show. Okay, not a new show, but there's a friend of mine who was in lockdown in Italy.
Okay.
And she got a panic attack because at that particular time they were enclosed in their rooms. All right. So she didn't have people to talk to. So I reached out to her, and then I called her, and she told me she's doing well now, even after the talk. So she even told me, oh, Violet, why don't you start a YouTube channel so that at least now even other young people who are in the diaspora can also share the experiences. So that is how now I started the show, so that people who are abroad, who are from Africa, can start sharing the experiences about COVID-19. So we started off in March 28th, but with time, the show has really grown, and it has opened doors for me here in Africa. And I think this week I was even put on an African directory.
Okay.
Yes, like someone recommended me from Africa. I didn't, I usually interview people. People watch my show, but I don't know. I usually don't know them. So I got so right now I'm in the African continent, like that youth listing, that directory. So I've been interviewing them with regard to COVID-19, but I've been thinking about the sustainability of this particular initiative, because me, I'm taking it as a business. So I've branded the show.
What's the show?
It's called on YouTube. It's called Real Talk Show, hosted by Violet Mbiti. Maybe I can share the link on the private chat.
Yeah, you want to share that with me?
Let me give me a minute. YouTube.
What's your challenge? What are you looking for, Violet? What this is great news.
Yeah.
What do you need?
Yeah. So like what? Okay. I was thinking of yes, we are like 1 month old, but I have we don't have that many subscribers, but the people who are following me online are from all over Africa. So I was thinking of inviting entrepreneurs who would like their products to be showcased in the African continent to appear on my show. But I was thinking that since this is business, you have to generate income. So I was thinking that if when I invite them to come and share their story, because at the end of the day, they are selling their produce, I can charge them. So I had shared with someone that idea, but they were saying, oh, it is too early to start charging people. So, now that made me now think, so should I withdraw from inviting entrepreneurs to showcase their products and just focus on social aspects like how to combat COVID-19, what different communities are doing to combat COVID-19? Because there's a lady who showcased her innovation that she came up with during the COVID-19, and she got orders. So I was thinking, like, maybe I can invite entrepreneurs from all over Africa, all right? Maybe starting from Kenya, who can showcase what they are doing.
So let's read on this a little bit, okay? Because the part of the reason you're getting this audience is because of COVID-19, right? And you're providing useful information that can help them to navigate this time period. So the hook in this is COVID-19, right? That's the common thing that's bringing all those people together, right?
Yeah.
Within your YouTube channel, which is great. Now we got to create some money from this, right? We got to create some revenue, and so me, I'm like, we're not going to create revenue in days, weeks, or months. We're going to create revenue now, right? Today,
yeah,
right now, in hours, not days, not weeks, not months. Now, create the revenue. So what I would do is I'd test it. I would come up with a model where if they sell on your show, on your channel, and if they sell, and you can have a direct link to that, maybe you get 50% of, it's a revenue share model. Maybe it's less, but try to go for as much as you can, right? It's a revenue share model, right? And it's directly tied to them buying from them seeing you on your show. So that's one. So they don't have to pay for anything else but just what's sold through your show. and you'd have to trust them, and they'd have to be honest about what they're selling, and there'd be some way you might be able to track that. But maybe you could do, because there's lots of products. Maybe you actually have some kind of mask that you brand, that's your own brand, that you're selling. So you have your own product, is what I'm thinking. Develop your own product that's relevant to COVID-19. So again, you're staying relevant to the topic you're working on. Develop a mask that's your own mask that you sell. So now you're making money from your own mask, and maybe you have a collection of people sewing these masks, and there's some special design, some local African fabric that people are interested in. It's more of a designer type of thing. I'm just talking out loud here with you. And then, because you're getting such traffic, you want to set up some kind of advertising model on YouTube. So you would get anybody who clicks on any advertisement that's on YouTube. You want to be able to collect revenue from that those ads. So I would add ad revenue from YouTube, so you're able to collect money from anybody who might click on anything. It may be small at first, but it could grow based upon an audience growth. Those are 3 ways to start right now generating revenue in your site. You probably can come up with some other product development as well, but you can do that right now today and start outreaching to some of those businesses and do it. I would not wait. I would do everything now, or as soon as you possibly can, when you can put together some kind of email package that you can send, or text communication to the business who you want to invite on, and then say, propose what you're trying to do with them. I think it's important to be careful, though, on how you frame that in your show and your channel, because there is trust that I know people are probably getting with you. And so you want to make sure that it's set up, there's an authenticity and a genuineness to what you're offering in terms of the product, and the product has some connection to COVID-19 or helping people dealing with COVID-19, so that authenticity and genuineness sticks as you go forward, because you started this for all the right reasons. Now you've got to make sure, when you're looking to create revenue, which you need to create, then how do you do that in a way that seems very natural and is easy for people to embrace, and more importantly, reduces the friction to get them to make the purchase, right? And so those are my first ideas. Now, here's the second one I'm going to share. This will be recorded, so you'll be able to come back to this. I'm going to share another idea here I think it's important, and that's this: what's next? So you want to be thinking about how to leverage this channel and your audience into what's next. Be looking for themes. Be looking for things that are outside of COVID-19. One we see every day now is people are stuck. How do you get unstuck? So that's going to become a theme here on PADITU, how to get unstuck. I'm sure there's themes within the work you're doing within COVID-19 that people have, and that could be they're afraid, right? They're uncomfortable. And so there's an opportunity for you to transition your show. And as Al was saying earlier, there's a number of people who are going to become depressed if they're already not becoming, mildly depressed from the reality of not having interaction with people, daily life, everything they know has changed. So there could be the post-COVID-19 show, which is helping people overcome whatever the challenge they're facing in that reality at that time, which is a different time than now. So I would be thinking about what's next and start planning for an evolution of the show so that it becomes not about COVID-19, but about something much greater and something that's more long-term, has more term potential for you, and the audience can grow. I'll pause right here, right now. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so thank you for the insight. It really helps. So the other with regarding to pricing, I was thinking of thank you for the 3 alternatives that you have given. I was thinking of the other option is calling now, getting in touch with the person who's selling the product.
Yeah, yeah.
And asking them to pay any amount that they wish to pay, because it's like supporting me instead of giving them an exact amount.
Time out. I think people try that and they're just, it's not likely. Again, that's friction. You're creating friction. The friction is you're going to take 50% of what they sell. You can track those sales through YouTube and through you, so you can track those sales, keep track of them, and they're gonna say yes to come on more easily. If you charge them to get on your show, that's counter to getting them on your show, because they're struggling as well. There's no guarantee. They don't know. And why would I go on your show and not some other show? I just think that you're creating friction. And so I think it's a revenue share model, and you track it. You track it through technology so that you know what's being sold, and you work with people you can trust. And maybe they go through you to buy that product. So think about how you set that up. Instead of being, it's revenue share, and then the key here is reduce friction to yes. Get to yes. And that's the key. And so if you charge them, I'm going to say, and I've seen many businesses attempt this. It just the person who you're asking to pay is not going to be comfortable with that. What they would be comfortable is a higher percentage of the sale based upon the sale happening. And so you'll get them on. You can start experimenting. You can start learning how it's working, and then over time it's going to change, right? You're not going to do it the same way you're doing it every time, and it give you a chance to learn. But remember, you're trying to reduce the friction to get to yes, and so that's important. And think about everything you're trying to propose or conceive of how you create revenue, and then look at it through the lens of how much friction does this create, or how much friction does it reduce, and you'll go far. Is this helpful?
Great. Yeah, very, very helpful. I'm so happy that I got the opportunity to talk to you, because this thing is something that has been burning me up. And I was wondering now, will I be doing the right thing, or will I not be doing the right thing? So thank you so much.
You're so welcome. We're going to keep tracking you. Let's have you come back on at some point and then see where things have grown. But do it now. So revenue now, experiment with revenue. We've come up with the multiple revenue streams. Remember, on YouTube, you can sign up and you can start generating revenue from ads and click sales just by being on YouTube. And the larger your audience, the more money that becomes.
All right.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you, Violet. Good luck.
All right.
Really
all right. Thank you.
Thanks for all you do.
Okay.
Wow. We've had some great entrepreneurs here today. I love it. Women entrepreneurs. They are my favorite. They've shown me over time, and there's more research coming out that's validating. Harvard just came out with research last year that validates a lot of what we've noticed over the years, and that is women are more collaborative. Women build teams better. Women are more intuitive. Women are more focused on long-term goals and putting off gratification. So it's just great to see these women succeeding and continuing to keep on keeping on. Well, I think that I'm going to wrap this up here. Time is running out. That's 1 hour. Went by very fast. So remember, you're going to overcome your challenges. You're going to overcome what's holding you back. You got to understand what is holding you back. You have to look deep inside. You have to go inside. It's not the exterior world that's holding you back. It's what's inside of you that's holding you back. List those out, understand what's holding you back, and then work and visualize, how do I overcome what's holding me back? Put those into a top 3 action steps for one of those things that's holding you back, and then move forward. Post it on your mirror in your bathroom so you see it every morning. You're reminded, I'm going to work to overcome what's holding me back so I can reach my full potential and put a dent in the universe. Thank you, everybody. And let's mark this off. Day 7. Check. 1 week we've been at this. It's pretty phenomenal. Thanks for everybody for being here today. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Same PADITU time, same PADITU station. Thank you very much.
You got to never ever give up. Keep it up, keep it up. Never ever give up. Keep it up, keep it up. Never ever give up. Keep it up, keep it up. Never ever give up. Keep it up, keep it up. Griffin, what's for life?
Believe in yourself and you'll go far.